These TV movies were so scary, they traumatized kids who stayed up past bedtime, gave adults nightmares for weeks, and some even got complaints from parents. No blood, no guts, just pure psychological terror that still holds up today. Ready to get creeped out? Let's jump in. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Rewind X. In the golden age of network television, horror wasn't stuck on the big screen. It crept into living rooms after dark. These made-for-TV shockers played a different game: low budgets, tight scripts, and eerie atmospheres that dug into your brain. From haunted houses to buried evil, from possessed objects to killer children, these creepy films proved that you didn't need gore to be genuinely disturbed. Just a flickering screen and some imagination. So if you're new here, smash that subscribe button because we're diving into some seriously creepy territory. Let's go! Number 1. Bad Ronald, 1974. One of the strangest and most disturbing made-for-TV movies ever aired, Bad Ronald premiered on ABC in 1974 and quickly earned a reputation as a cult oddity. Scott Jacoby stars as Ronald, a socially awkward teen who accidentally kills a neighbor girl and hides inside a secret room in his house, even after his mother dies and a new family moves in. The movie's strength is how it builds tension through claustrophobia and warped perspective. You spend most of the time with Ronald, watching as he spies on the unsuspecting family through peepholes and slowly descends into a fantasy world of his own creation. It's low budget and tame by today's standards, but the concept is undeniably creepy. What makes Bad Ronald linger is how mundane everything feels. A suburban nightmare hiding just behind the walls. Number 2. Salem's Lot, 1979. Based on Stephen King's novel, CBS aired Salem's Lot as a 2-part miniseries in 1979, but it didn't feel like your average TV horror movie. It follows a writer who returns to his hometown just as people begin to vanish, and something terrible takes up residence in the abandoned house on the hill. Starring David Soul, James Mason, and Bonnie Bedelia, among others. There's a stillness to the town that feels off from the beginning. Empty streets, shuttered windows, and the sense that no one's really safe once the sun goes down. The vampires here aren't romantic or stylish. They're pale, rotted, and horribly weird. There's something unsettling about how Salem's Lot treats the idea of home. Bedrooms, porches, familiar streets, none of it offers any protection once the sun goes down. It's a vampire story, sure, but it's also about what happens when the places that are supposed to keep you safe start turning against you. The slow, suffocating mood settles in early and never really leaves. Number 3. Don't Be Afraid of the Dark, 1973. Premiering on ABC, in 1973, Don't Be Afraid of the Dark scared a lot of kids who had no business staying up that late. Kim Darby plays a woman renovating an old house when she discovers a sealed fireplace and something living behind it. Before long, she's hearing whispers, seeing shadows dart through the room, and realizing she's not alone. The creatures themselves are small and strange, but it's the way they move and how no one else seems to notice them that makes it all feel creepy. Darby's descent into fear isn't loud or frantic. It's quiet, methodical, and completely believable. For a movie made on a TV budget, its low-stakes approach makes it incredibly effective. The whispers, the dim lighting, the sense that something is just out of frame. It was terrifying. You don't need jump scares when the house itself feels like it's watching. Number 4. Trilogy of Terror, 1975. Trilogy of Terror is one of the most famous and flat-out fun horror anthologies ever made for TV, airing on ABC in 1975. All 3 segments star Karen Black in different roles, but it's the final story, Amelia, that burned itself into the minds of anyone who watched it, and probably kept a lot of people from sleeping that night. It starts simple. A woman buys a Zuni fetish doll for her boyfriend, only for it to come to life and start attacking her inside her apartment. The doll is small, fast, and totally unhinged, biting, stabbing, and tearing through furniture with sharp teeth and a tiny spear. There's a manic energy to the whole thing that makes it feel like a nightmare you can't shake. Karen Black sells every second of it, going from confused to terrified to something else entirely. The first two stories have their moments, but the last one is pure chaos, and it still freaks people out today. Number 5. Dark Night of the Scarecrow, 1981. Originally airing on CBS in 1981, Dark Night of the Scarecrow is a TV movie that feels way meaner and more effective than it has any right to be. It starts with the wrongful death of a mentally challenged man named Bubba, who's gunned down by a group of small-town vigilantes. And that's just the setup. After the men escape justice, something begins picking them off one by one. A scarecrow appears in their fields, watching silently, and the air gets colder. There's no gore, no fancy effects, just a slow, quiet sense that payback is coming. What makes it so creepy isn't just the revenge plot. It's the way the fear builds in the men who caused the harm. Paranoia sets in, and the justice they thought they got away from starts creeping back in one step at a time. Number 6. The Victim, 1972. Elizabeth Montgomery plays a woman who heads to her sister's remote country house during a storm, worried after a strange phone call. When she arrives, the house is unlocked, the lights are on, but her sister is nowhere to be found. The phone lines are down, and the longer she waits, the more it starts to feel like someone else is in the house with her. It aired on ABC in November of 1972 and was produced by Aaron Spelling, who was turning out high-quality TV thrillers throughout the decade. It moves at a deliberate pace, letting the silence and stillness do most of the work. Montgomery spends much of the movie alone, pacing from room to room, trying to piece together what's happened, while something just out of frame seems to be watching. There's no score pushing the tension, or no big action scene to break things up. It's all about simplicity, space, suspicion, and the kind of fear that comes from not knowing what's waiting just beyond the next door. Number 7. Don't Go to Sleep, 1982. It looks like a normal suburban setup. New house, fresh start, trying to move on after a family tragedy. But Don't Go to Sleep doesn't stay quiet for long. The youngest daughter starts talking to her dead sister, and before anyone can make sense of it, the rest of the family begins to suffer a string of strange, deadly accidents. Premiering on ABC in December of 1982, the movie stars Valerie Harper, Dennis Weaver, and Ruth Gordon. There's no ghost in a sheet, just a creeping feeling that something in the house wants revenge. The tension builds in small, unsettling moments, and it's the kind of terror that gets under your skin because it feels so personal. Grief, guilt, and something unspoken worm their way through every scene. By the end, you're not sure what's worse, the haunting itself or the family it's feeding on. Number 8. The Car, 1977. While it had a limited theatrical release, The Car aired so often on network TV that it burned itself into the memory of late-night viewers. Set in a quiet desert town, things take a dark turn when a blacked-out Lincoln Continental begins running people down with no driver behind the wheel. James Brolin plays the sheriff trying to stop the chaos, but it isn't just a typical hit-and-run case. The car smashes through funeral processions, crashes into homes, and even flips police cruisers like they're toys. It moves with intelligence, cruelty, and purpose, as if something evil is driving from the inside. The Car may be a product of its time, But there's something unnerving about the idea of a powerful machine acting on pure evil. The mayhem still hits hard, and the imagery sticks with you long after it's over. Number 9. Duel, 1971. Before Jaws, before E.T., Steven Spielberg made his directing debut with this lean, relentless thriller for ABC's Movie of the Week in 1971. Dennis Weaver stars as a traveling salesman driving through the desert when he's suddenly targeted by a faceless trucker in a massive rusted-out semi. The execution is sharp. No explanation and no backstory. Just pure, merciless pursuit. The truck feels alive, stalking Weaver's car like a predator, revving its engine with menace and always staying just out of reach. The fact that we never see the driver makes it even more unnerving. It's not a man chasing him. It's something. Duel turns wide-open highways into claustrophobic death traps, and what starts as a petty road incident quickly spirals into a nightmare. It's stripped down, smart, and somehow still scarier than most monster movies. So there you have it. 9 made-for-TV horror movies that absolutely terrified an entire generation without using any gore or special effects. Just pure atmosphere, tension, and psychological horror that still holds up today. Which one do you think sounds the scariest? Drop a comment below and let me know. And if you enjoyed this trip down memory lane into classic TV horror, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to Rewind X for more deep dives into forgotten films and classic cinema. Turn on those notifications so you never miss an upload. I'll catch you in the next one.